How can I help you to release your pain, let go of your fears, heal the rage within? My inner voice and experience tells me that I am not the only one. Well, I saw it on Facebook and I just immediately went, oh, I completely support this event, and it was one of those not do I want to, don't I want to. It was an immediate yes, I'm in on this, definitely. Any chance to speak out against this issue, I'm there.
Like most people, when I first heard when I first got the invite and my wife mentioned it to me, do you want to be part of the SLUTwalk, I really had to do the what? And anyway, so once I looked into what it was and you know, kind of made the connection, okay, I can see now why it is called the SLUTwalk, and looked into it, absolutely, I was looking forward then to participating in it, and as part of an education movement, if anything else.
The SLUTwalk movement started last year in Toronto and quickly went national and international, following the comments of a Toronto police representative that said women should avoid dressing like sluts in order not to be victimized. The walk is an attempt to shift the blame in sexually based offenses from the victim to the perpetrator.
Hear the word slut, it's not necessarily empowering women per se, until you understand the meaning behind it, for sure, definitely. I think it's a great name, after I knew the meaning behind it, for sure.
What is rape? Rape is when you are treated as less than human, used without feeling or empathy, and the fact that you do have feelings means nothing, and you, the victim, is the one to blame. No one understands because it's all too common.
It really has to start from you and me and everybody here to make sure that the people that are around them are respectful of women, are respectful of people, you know, and that'll trickle down. I mean, sexual abuse, people that perpetrate sexual violence and abuse on women are often victims. It's a cycle, and you know, unless we break that cycle and start healing ourselves, you know, it's just going to continue on.
The walk wasn't just women, there were also some men on hand to share the SLUTwalk's message.
I think it's just an education of not just men, but of society in general, that we need to, you know, look beyond a lot of these things where people say, you know, she shouldn't have dressed that way, or she shouldn't have, you know, she shouldn't have been flirting or drinking or whatever. You know, that's not the issue. The issue is, you know, that women are still being raped, and that is what needs to be rectified.
Those participating say that holding the SLUTwalk in Fort St. John is important because of the attitudes they've encountered in the city.
I know personally, just from friends in this community, that might be stereotyped as a slut per se, because they dress nicely, they take pride in the way they look. They do that for themselves. There's a lot of men out there that do take that for granted, and they do think that, yes, I found a sure thing, you know, and I don't think that's right. And with the population being probably 60% more men to women in this town, then yes, I think this should be a known cause, definitely.
In Fort St. John, it's underground. It's not talked about a lot, but it does happen, and when it does happen, it hurts a lot of people. There is a ripple effect that's been mentioned before today, and if there's anything we can do to stop it. The pain, the humiliation, the self-loathing. People you thought you could trust can't help you. This is your lesson. Only you can help yourself, and you feel helpless, and it stays.
I don't want to blame the RCMP or anybody. It's just that we really need to start changing our way of thinking about violence that occurs and happens to women, missing women, murdered women, sexual assault victims. Like, it's something that we really need to start raising our voice against, and things like this, like the SLUTwalk, it only reiterates the impact that those kinds of those kinds of attacks on women cause to the community and their families.
You know, Fort St. John or any other community, I think again, it goes back to education. Some of the signs that I saw today, which really drove it home, is, you know, clothing, what causes rape? Clothing, flirting, and a few other things, you know, and had little check boxes. Well, no, a rapist. You know, it's not how a person dresses, it's not how a person behaves or flirts or dresses or anything. You know, it is people out there that are of bad intentions that cause rape.
I'll tell you how many times I've talked with families of missing or murdered women, and they've been many times told, you know, well, they're probably just off, you know, they'll turn up, you know, do they have a history of taking off, and those kinds of responses they're not acceptable, you know. Even when they've reiterated, my family member would never do that, she would never take off on her kids. It's a lot of, you know, well, it's probably out drinking, partying, you know. Those are the kinds of responses that they have in the past gotten.
There's a large male dominating presence in the city, and so because of that, it's an attitude, and the women's voices just don't always get heard. That's the problem. The biggest problem is women's voices don't get heard, and if there was a way to change that, that would be great.
I thought it was great. I'm a little bit disappointed at the turnout. I was hoping that a lot more women would come out to support this, because I think it's such a great cause. I personally, this has never happened to me, thank God. I'm a mother of a daughter, and so I walked for her today and for fellow women out there.
Sure, quit bitching and count your blessings. But this is one area where our society could use some vast improvement. Personally, from my experience, if something has happened to you, then you should tell right away, and the sooner the better. It's the problem of questioning, was it my fault, was it my fault, that makes it so that no justice is served. And even though it's not you might not be comfortable saying anything or speaking out, no matter how old you are, it's the only way to make change happen. Whoever you are, no matter what unfair injustice is done to you, never underestimate the power of your will. Live the life of your choice. Let no person allow you to feel less able or less worthy. You, my friend, are the captain of your ship, even if it has been hijacked for someone else's joyride.
For Around the Peace, I'm Stacey Robbins in Fort St. John.